I don't know. I literally I
Well,
had it paused and I reloaded it.
Oh, you already reloaded it?
Nobody
Nobody has a frozen image?
Okay, it's starting now.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, it's running now, John, so we should be good.
Okay.
Live.
Well,
and in person, it's Saturday night.
I don't know how much I missed.
Sorry,
so
I just noticed.
It's good. It's good.
It's Saturday night.
I don't know how much I missed.
Perfect.
Okay, so right. I don't know what anybody missed on the initial stream, but we're back again.
I think they probably missed when we
Let
killed
us know
that
in the
giant.
chat what you guys missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anybody's actually watching this, let us know what when it stopped. Let us know that. Dan Young, you're in there.
You missed when we solved the puzzle and got the.
Oh, Dan Young's away playing another video game. Okay, well, let's see. So you guys are. What are you doing with? What are you doing here?
First, I'm gonna just try laying the heart on the bundle and seeing if anything happens.
Oh wow! It says. Let's see here. Hold on.
I also want to step kind of away as I do that because I don't know if this is gonna like explode or whatever, man.
Hold on a second. So interesting. And he kind of just starts looking around, falling off of him. Okay, so I know where the stream ended. Perfect. So the knight joined an army. The army switched sides, so the obelisk changed once he got the king's sword, and he set it on the throne, or killed the altar and made a throne. That's what you guys missed on the stream. And then the army rushed onwards. The saints' temple was on the opposite side, and the wanderers' keep was on this side. Now with no entry or exit to the center from that place. Okay, and then they moved on into the center from the temple. They went to the temple, and then they came back into the center. For those who are paying attention, nobody. I'm just doing this for me, really. And then now that's where we're at. They're in the keep, and when they accidentally got near one of the dwarf guys, he melted. Okay, cool. Then what happens?
Are we going to place the heart on the pile of wood?
The second it gets close to it, the pyre starts to burn, and when you set the heart into it, it lights up with green flame and just ignites, burning bright and heating up the stones of the place. They all kind of just pulse with energy, and all of the dwarfs pop just like the worm did. Their ooze kind of just gelling out onto the ground. As the fire kind of finishes covering the wood with flame, is what I meant to say, fully engulfs it, it lights up like a spire, and the sky seems to shift from day to just dusk to kind of a nightish color. You hear weird winding and churning coming from that strange door, but it still seems like all of those things are set behind the glass. It looks like it unlocks, but the door doesn't open, as the door appears to be behind this glass.
It's a glass door?
So it looks like it's a weird mechanical door that is inside of a glass sheet.
Quick, somebody get a stone and let's throw it in a glass house.
We could just maybe open it.
You guys walk over to the door. It doesn't appear that there's any handles for you. All of the weird mechanisms of the door are inside of the glass. It looks like a handle appeared inside of the glass, but you can't reach it. As I mentioned last time, it looks like this weird set of mechanisms is sheathed in this glass case. It looks like it could be broken.
Did we break it?
What do you try to break it with?
The gavel.
Do you pull out the gavel and strike it with the gavel?
Yes.
The second you do, the glass shatters perfectly, uniformly, and hits the ground. As the glass shards hit the ground, like the dwarves, it melts into the stone. The door just slightly becomes ajar.
Nice.
Wait, the door is now ajar?
Yeah, it became a jar. Well, it had glass, so it makes sense.
What kind of jar?
Oh, shut up.
The other thing,
Who's letting you play, Matt?
the other thing that you will note is that you hear the sounds of portcullises shutting. It seems like the keep is now cut off.
It's on lockdown mode.
You have
Crap.
2 paths that you can enter in and exit out of. It looks like it's these 2 paths. The weird mechanical door and the strange wooden door in the thatched building. Which one would you like to go through?
Go through the one you just broke, right?
Yeah.
Let's try.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Buddy.
Does anybody want to get healed before we go in there?
I'm good.
Save your spells.
I think I'm fine for now.
As you enter into the door, you can kind of feel this strange kind of like sound. Feels like a rustling sound. And up ahead, in the dark of this strange catacomb, you see a statue just sitting there on the ground with its mouth open in front of you. It's a statue of a lion-like creature with bat-like wings and a scorpion's tail, and its mouth is open and reveals a black void.
That's what takes us to the mountain, right?
No, the Manicore.
Yeah.
Have you been to the Manicore?
Our good old friend
We haven't
Manticore.
we haven't gone the secret path in the Manicore, right? That's
Nope.
the one under the bridge. So I suggest you do that.
Okay, do you want me to go? Go there now?
Yes, because we have to go through each
All right.
secret path, and we haven't gone through the actual secret path of the Manticore. We went down the right. Am I wrong, John?
I think you're right.
Am I remembering?
Let's go into the assumption that you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, don't ever trust my fucking memory. You guys should know better than that by now.
Your memory is enhanced.
Yeah, is that drug enhanced?
Exactly. That's enhanced, though, still.
Yeah, you're
Alright.
taking the drug that was in Lucy, right? So you can use it in 10% of your.
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right, so we're going in there. We're all going to just, like...
Okay. You go in.
crazy stuff.
I'm going to just go ahead and move us to theater, because we've been to the Manticore before, and I think that I know how that's going to go. I hope you guys know that that's going to go. You guys walk up to the Manticore. There's the pass across the bridge, which you know leads on to the keep that you're already at. And then there's the pass that leads to the what you'd suppose is the Huntress. The Manticore is still blocking that pass, though. It is now actually blocking that pass. Its eyes are healed, and it looks to you as you enter in. Oh, it is you again, you who have healed me. The lady sent you. Do you wish to go and see her?
Yes. She
Wait,
is summoned us again.
Hold on.
Yes, we do.
I want to whisper. Do we want to see her, or do we want to go under the bridge?
That
Well,
is.
she went under the bridge.
That is her.
It
Yes.
is. Okay. Sure.
So the west path leads back to the center. The east path leads to the keep. The secret path leads to the lady, the Huntress. You guys dip down underneath, and as you guys are stepping along the frozen path, you can feel kind of a cold, wintry air blustering from out underneath the bridge and from the path, like kind of the path to the west. The wind's blowing from the west. And after a fashion, as you walk into this dark undercurrent of bridge, you kind of feel yourself rising up out of what appears to be a mountain. The wind is blowing harder now, buffeting you. Seems to be blowing in a circle around the spire top of the mountain. Up above you are bright celestial, just gorgeous, beautiful celestial things. And she stands there atop the mountain.
I don't like this place.
I say we just move straight to underneath the Wraith's zodiac sign.
As you kind of
Yeah,
move
sure.
towards that point, she drops her blade down in that kind of direction and looks at you, and she says, "You have not walked the path. You cannot enter that place.
What path have we not walked?
You have entered the path at its middle point. You must walk the full path. Can you not see?
Where?
Piece of shit.
Can you not see it?"
I-
And she points to the sky. Can you not see the path?
Oh.
Yeah, we have to start back
Does
at
the
the there.
stars change? Does
no,
stars
I think
change?
what he means
They-
is we
they
start
do.
at January and go.
Well, no.
He just said they did.
So the stars do change, and it shows that starting on her, okay, and then it moves to the next month, which would be the Wraith.
We need to do the whole thing all the
But
way
then it
through.
moves to the next month, which would be the mother. Then it moves to the next month, which would be
Oh,
the
shit.
judge. Then it moves to the next month, which would be the tyrant. You guys entered in.
Go around the whole
Yeah,
path.
we started at the keep. We need to
Right.
start at the mother and move through each path.
Okay. So with that being said, you guys go back to the center, going back down into the hole, and you
I
go
don't want to come back
back
here again.
to the mother, and she says, "You're so close. Just remember the path. Know this. The secret path here does not lead to where you want to go. It leads to where you will go." And she smiles.
I like the optimism.
She gestures up the hill. "Be on your way to the judge."
Thank you, Mother.
You go into the judge.
I click my heels. There's no place like home.
You go
There's
into
no
the judge's
place like
courtroom. The courtroom is silent as you hold the gavel, and he gestures
good.
to you and he says, "You may enter. You may see the king, or the monarch." You move past him and you enter into the monarch. You see the path ahead. The tyrant stands there, and he kind of just is now standing, not sitting, and he kind of looks to you, and then he kind of looks to the hole in the ground that you've dug up, and he says, "You know the only path. Take it." And you head down into the hole, and you enter up onto the mountain, and there's no response here. Nothing really talks to you any longer, except that you can feel this strange pulsing in your hand as you're still feeling this strange heat. And from your hand, Boo, you hear a whisper. The dragon says, "Continue on. I was bested by you. You are a valiant slayer of my kind." And you continue on up the mountain and enter into the mouth of the cave, and you continue on through, which leads you to the saint. You walk in, the Sphinx looks at you, gestures towards the radiant door, and nods its head. You walk through it, and once you do enter through that point, you enter on the side where the temple was, where you guys walked to. You see the army kind of just milling about the field, and all of them are like waving their banners, and all of them are yelling out to you in victory. Some of them are playing out horns and trumpets, and they part to make a way for you to pass through.
I bring up my loot while we're in this room.
You've earned it, my friends. You've earned it. A hearth and drinks to you, kind warriors who have aided us, who have brought us the sword of our king. And they are all nodding at Boo, who has the sword of the king, kind of in one hand and looking at a strange burning sensation, not like heart hurting, but weird in the other hand. And he's just like, yeah.
Dude, this is exactly like Skyrim.
And then you got Sovngarde. You guys pass beyond that and start walking up the cobblestone path to the small building where the Wanderer stayed. He doesn't appear to be there, but you see that there's a bunch of just foot tracks across the ground, and it's kind of raining in this place now. And you go inside and you see that the hearth is not relit. It still has the path that leads on, but there's a candle on the table and a note sitting out on the table. And if you pick up the note, it says, "Dear friends, in you I saw the heart of my youth, and I've made my way back out into the world to adventure and to see what there is." And he signs off with his name, Falloon. And you guys move over to the hearth and you see the path that leads down into it, and you go inside and you enter in and you come up out of the berth of the ship, and you see that it's set in dock, and she's got people on the dock kind of pulling fish off. The dock looks like just, to you, it probably looks like somewhere around Seaguard, maybe. It just looks nice. But she looks over at you and says, "Oh, treating my key okay? Did you lock the door behind you when you went in?"
We did.
Yes.
All right. And she kind of just waves and continues on her business, looking too busy to deal with you. You walk across the length of the ship, head over to the captain's quarters, unlock it with a key. Do you leave the key, or do you take the key once you close the door and lock it behind you?
Good point, guys. It was there before.
I don't think we need it anymore, right?
I don't think we need it either. I'm going to leave it for the next group.
You leave and continue on. The captain's quarters leads you, strangely, out of a wooden door, from one wooden door to another, out into the center of a keep, To your left is a strange-looking door with metal cogs. You walk on the way, and you can feel just the warmth of this place, the security that is present inside of this fortification. You go through the strange mechanical door and exit out into kind of a snowy area, and the Manticore has already kind of gestured towards you to make your way through to see the Huntress. You've made it, my friends. You've made it with your kindness. You've made it with your sincerity. You've made it with your perceptive eyes and your true judgment, as I'm sure the guardian of this place told you. The strongest warriors are not always the greatest, but you, my friends, have proven to be the greatest. I hope she accepts you. And you move
You
on.
happen to have a fur coat?
Nope. And you march on through, braving the winds and rushing through the winter air. And as you kind of step into the center of the spiraling winds, she raises her sword and she stabs it straight into the top of the mountain. When she does so, the wind just stretches out from her, one final gust of cold, and it immediately clears away. And you see the stars up in the sky stop, with her directly underneath where she needs to be, and the Wraith shining its light on a clearing just near where you guys were moving around to.
The Wraith.
Yes. Let's do this, Hawk.
Let's go.
So let's approach the Wraith.
You guys enter into a small cavern wall that has slid away underneath the spire she stands on. And you enter into a long, cold stone hallway. And at the end of the hallway, you hear laughing. And you look out ahead and you see a pool of blood setting inside of a basin against a stone wall. There are no cobwebs in this place. They've all been kind of shuttered away. And he looks to you. And he says, I believe you have something of mine. And he kind of raises his hand out.
And I give him the bird.
No.
Is it
Was
the
he
heart?
looking at Boo when he said that?
The heart's gone, though, isn't it?
No, he has it, doesn't he?
He's
No,
not
it's
talking
inside
about-
of the fire.
No,
Yeah, I
dude.
don't
Is
think
he
he's
talking
talking
about
about the
the
heart.
sword? Because I have the sword.
Are you giving him the sword?
Is he looking at me?
He's just looking at all of you. He doesn't really have eyes. He's kind of just like a black shadow.
I'm trying to remember, what were all the things that we got from the different people? Because
We have the broken spine. We have the gavel. We have the
I had the
sword.
key, but I left it. We have a sword.
And we have the rod, right?
Yeah, we have the
Yes.
rod.
A rod of rulership. Sweet.
and which guy is this guy?
The Wraith.
This is the Wraith.
What would a wraith want?
I give him the sword. If not, then the rod, I guess. I don't know.
Hmm.
Do you hand him the sword?
I guess.
He takes the sword into his hand and takes the hilt away from you. As he does so, you can see that from his fingers all the way up to his shoulder, he starts to form flesh and skin and apparently some sort of adornments. He's wearing something, but the shadows cut it off at the shoulder. And he reaches out with his other hand and he says, and
I think the rod, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him the rod.
he takes the rod, and as you do so, his arm also becomes, formed. And then from the head down, he takes on his true shape and steps down from the pool of blood. The blood seeming to have lifted up into him to create him, this physical body before you. And he steps onto the stone in front of you. He looks like a very much more attractive version of Hawk, and also a
Not
younger
possible.
version of Hawk. Like if
Oh,
if
The
Hawk
non-stoned version of Hawk.
if Hawk were to be immortalized in song, this is what people would think about when they heard his name in those
Okay.
tales.
Hold on. If he's going to be immortalized, first of all, I already have 3 songs on it.
There you go. You say it, Zell.
Just saying.
He looks to you all and he says, "It took you long enough. It's just a walk around the block." And he walks over to the wall near him. not to the two paths that have been opened to you. And he smashes the rod against it, and it knocks away this door. And he says, "It's all yours." And he walks back over to the cauldron, and you can see that the cauldron in its time away from you has actually shaped itself into a just nice looking iron chair. And he sits. Light is basking through the passageway he's opened before you.
Well, I can't say it's been a pleasure, but it's been something. So let's go. Thank you, by the way.
Thank you. As Hawk walks by, he says, "Your mom is so fat, she brought a spoon to the Super Bowl."
I'll give you one word of kindness, since it seems that my words have wounded you. Know this. Your treasure waits for you, but so does the hand of death. Be prepared. Do not let your guard down, warriors. And you walk through, I suppose?
Yeah, dude, what the fuck else are we supposed to do?
This is the way. No other way.
Only
You
way
guys
forward is forward.
enter into a probably 20-foot or so radius room. Sitting in the center of the room is kind of a podium, like a round podium. And floating above it is a sword. Directly above you is a glass ceiling. It seems to have kind of a purplish hue to it. And the room is just bright from the sword's glow, and it seems that the walls are kind of made of gold. And there the sword floats. Hilt, bottom, and blade up. The blade itself appears to be made out of kind of a blackish colored metal, just interlaced with silver, and the handle looks like it's made out of ivory or pearl, with a strange symbol on the bottom of a bird or something. You're not sure. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can just give you a picture. I don't think I have it ready to go, but I should be able to get it pretty quickly.
Is it of a bird or of a hawk?
A strange bird, not a hawk.
Not a hawk.
It's a blue jay.
It's not really a definable bird. It's kind of like a vague bird shape.
Does this bird shape no disintegrate?
You'll understand. You'll understand what I mean in a second. Probably. I do. This is what the sword looks like. Hold on. This is what the sword looks like.
That's a nice looking sword.
Interesting.
Dibs.
If you have history trained or you have arcana trained, you can make an intelligence one of those checks.
Hawk would pay attention to his sword as he's looking at it.
Oh.
Boo, it is beyond a shadow of a doubt that the sword that stands before you is the sword of ultimate sorcery. The sword that can cut the world. The sword that magic springs from. The sword that is interlaced with the black and the white winds. The sword that was crafted by Varhuin, the god of mysteries, and the god of time, before time was ever a concept in the minds of mortals.
We just have to touch it, and that's where we're going to end our stream.
No. We're not even close to done.
I'm not going to touch that, but it looks pretty cool. I bet a Holy Avenger would be much more cool, though.
So what happens when Hawk...
If there is death in this room, I only have one spell that is above 2nd level.
Well,
have you wasted that many spells?
Yeah, I have 2 1st level spells and 2 3rd level spells and 1 5th level spell. That's it.
This is going to be fun.
I think what it means by death is in here. Like, if the wrong person grabs that, they're going to die. I don't think I'm the right person to grab that, but
I don't trust the bird.
So, looking at the bird, and without intelligence check, Boo, you would know that the symbol that's present there is what is known as arcane mark, a maker's mark. So, whoever created this sword used that as their mark. You would know that the sword is said to be created by Varhuin, the god of elves, the progenitor of the goddesses. Basically, in elvish tradition, there was one god, the god of elves, and he came to this place when it was all just a forest, and he saw the sun in the sky, Bickaveria, and he fell in love with her and chased her across the sky. In some places, they think of Varhuin as a god of the moon, but not really. Something you may not have known, this planet nobody's ever asked, but it has 2 moons. It's never come up. There's a small black orb that sits farther back and away from the actual moon. The actual moon is known to the elves as Stasia. The black moon is known by everyone as the Umbra, and is sometimes referred to as Varhuin's chariot. Anywho, that's stated. In the lore of the religion of the elves, he chased the goddess of the seasons, the sun, and mated with her and copulated. They had 4 children, one for each of the seasons. They became jealous of their own mother and tricked their father into having children with them, creating 2 more children, or grandchildren for the god of elves, creating a total of 12 of these deity spawn, or the Lachey, the first of the elves. And from them sprang every other elf therein. Winter elves come from Talvi Madramic. What kind of elf are you? You're just a wood elf, right?
Wild elf.
Wild elf, yeah. So like the normal baseline elves are more just aberrations on the core 4. Even just high elf is just an aberration on spring elf. Wild elf and wood elf are aberrations on autumn elves in this campaign. But yeah, so you would know that Maker's Mark, if it is his, it's something that you've never seen. And that symbol you've never seen before in your life either. The symbol for Varhuin you would think would be his holy symbol, which is kind of the top half of an hourglass.
So who does this sword belong to in our group? I'm thinking it would belong to the bard, but who knows?
What does Hawk's sword sort of say to him about this?
Surprisingly, it has been silent since you passed through the passageway in Kesh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do. Would I know anything in religion that would tell me like whether or not this type of sword would be good for what I stand for and everything?
Just looking at it, you know that sword could probably right all of the wrongs that exist in the world if you were to take it up.
Holy shit! All right, guys.
You can feel its power. You can feel the just origination of magic coming from it. It feels powerful.
Who is deferring to Hawk? Because this whole thing was like his fucking quest that he initiated, right?
Pretty much.
True. But the question is, who is the sword meant for? Like, maybe it is meant for Hawk? I know I don't want to touch it.
Rocky grabs it. No.
Yeah, and then he gets turned into a newt. All right, who wants to grab it?
Person.
Who's gonna be the first person to grab it? I'd rather not be the first person to grab it.
Again, I'm deferring to Hawk.
I'll defer to you too, Hawk.
Hawk is going to take out Gaia Senthina in one hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's going to put his hand on the hilt of the other sword.
Okay. As you reach out for the other sword and you can feel your hand touching it, you feel that the sword just isn't there. Like it's just an illusion. And it kind of draws your head down as you kind of like angrily feel your hands go through it, and you all watch him like grab at nothing as the sword just floats there. And when you look down at the pedestal that's beneath it, you see sitting on the surface of it is a strange starburst amulet with a platinum cord and 12 stones set in it. The colors of those stones kind of match the colors that glow in the center room, and it seems that they're set in the same order. And that looks like...
Is that the Amulet of Penultimate Truth?
It looks exactly like the Amulet of Penultimate Truth that was revealed to you by the guardian of this place.
Maybe that's what Hawk's supposed to have.
Sure. Grab that thing.
Grab the amulet.
Still don't trust the fucking bird.
Yeah.
Grab that
I'm just
sword,
kidding.
Zelbor.
Bird.
Grab this. There is no sword.
He's grabbing the sword.
The sword was an illusion, Michael.
The sword is totally an illusion, huh?
It's an illusion.
An illusion.
So there's an actual amulet there. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Do you pick it up?
Yes.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Get ready.
You
Roll
melt.
initiative. That would be really dramatic if Hawk just literally melted.
Yeah.
I
It's
should have thought of that. That would have been really good.
Awesome.
like, game over, man. Game over. They're gonna come in here and they're gonna kill
All right.
us.
I don't know if you guys have watched the YouTube channel, but the picture for that is the amulet. But here is the amulet for you to see, just so we can go ahead and get that out of the way.
Beautiful.
Oh, awesome. It's
Wait,
actually a
where's the
timepiece.
sword?
Yeah.
It does have a small silver, or platinum version of the sword that you're looking at, set, on it. When you pick up the amulet, you feel this strange kind of energy kind of wash over you. The walls become just stone, blackish stone. The light in the room just dissipates. The ceiling up above, you feel it kind of just, it almost feels like it's lowering. You're not quite sure what's happening. The sword that's hanging in the air seems to manifest and become tangible and fall and hit the ground, clanging with metal against the stone.
Sweet.
When you cast your eyes over to it, Hawk, and look at it, you see that it's a rusted, just destroyed old thing. It seems to have actually broken a bit when it descended from its position, hit the pedestal, and came down to the stone.
Wah, wah.
And you feel the ceiling continue to get closer.
Is there an exit besides the one we came in?
Very quickly, the way you came in is close to you, as it seems the floor passes the level of where it's at.
I'm going to put the amulet down.
Okay, it does nothing, it changes nothing. And eventually the floor seems to kind of radiate with this strange energy, and you feel the ceiling kind of come over you. You're kind of like raising your hand to touch it, but it feels intangible. And you move through that purple glass like it was water, and you are now standing in the center room.
Okay, I'm going to pick the amulet back up again then.
You're holding the amulet in your hand, and as you, are kind of getting it into your hand, kind of looking at it, it flies out of your hand, and it moves through the small ring of smoke in the center of the room, northwards, and you hear it clang against metal. When you look over in the direction through the smoke, you see an armored figure.
Can we stop doing this when I have nothing left, guys?
And when it
Seriously, this
speaks,
is like the third time.
you feel it in every single inch of your being, Hawk.
No.
You have found my treasure. You have claimed the right of your blood. Now kneel before your patriarch. Kneel before Gavalus. And I need you to... Hold on a second.
Command.
What is going on with the orb that's in my chest?
It's burning. It hurts a lot right now.
Not as much.
It's not wounding you or anything. It's constantly reminding you it's there. All right, I'm going to let you guys move and position yourselves as you'd like. I am, however, going to be placing Rocky where I want him.
Can you pull up a map?
I will. So give me a second.
Oh, sure. Sorry.
Guys, get ready for a lot of vicious mockery.
All right, so
That's all right.
I'm placing Rocky where I want him because that's where he would have entered into the place. He probably would have moved not too far past that. But you can place yourself anywhere on the dais or on the circle that you would like. You cannot leave the big purple portion of it, though. So
How much healing do you have left, Kevin?
Well, I have 10 lay on hands, and then I have a lot of spells left, so...
Yeah, you're going to need to do that, so yeah, try not to get knocked down right away.
Yeah, try not to get killed right away. All right. Yeah, I have like 3 first levels, 2 second, 2 third, 0 fourth because I used it. But well,
We need another
see.
utility caster.
we need another what?
Utility
So
caster.
I'm looking in roll 20 and I see that I'm the only one in there. What's up with that? Never mind.
It just refreshed everybody.
Oh, I refreshed us. Refreshing.
I saw the exact opposite. I saw everybody else, including you, go away. But yeah, you can be
Weird.
on the purple space, but you cannot be off of it, and you can be in at any point that you want to be on it.
In the circle, but we're not in the larger circle. So there's a smaller circle than a sort of
Yeah.
more diffuse circle.
The purple circle in the center of the room. It's a 10-foot radius circle. So long as your feet are touching that circle, you can be in any spot you want to be in. Yeah, exactly that. Not outside of
I
it.
think. Is this the thing that's talking?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we're gonna want to be up this way.
And at the start of initiative, it'll take up a space, but it was standing dramatically in the center.
Dramatically.
Yeah, Boo, fall back so you can get a shot.
Yeah.
Zell, you should fall back as
There.
well.
I mean, I fell back as far as I could, and now I'm behind the rap guy.
Do you want to put Rocky in between us,
We
Mel?
can't put him anywhere right now. He's well. Am I allowed to move him? I think he said that's where he was going to be.
That's where he stays.
That's where he stays.
He'll
Okay.
follow command.
Alright.
Like he entered into the room and just stayed at the door, and then when everything got pushed up, he just stood
we
there.
We should stay like that because I'd be within 10 feet of me.
Yeah.
So you get the bonuses if
Okay.
if we all get killed.
Now roll initiative if you haven't already.
Initiatize.
Hey, that's better than I usually do.
I got 8 last time, so what did I get this time?
I'm way behind fucker face over there.
Didn't.
Be afraid.
How come it didn't work when I clicked it? There. Well, you attempted to use a roll command. Blah blah blah. It's giving me weird errors.
You gotta click your token.
Click it on your token.
I did have it click on my token at one point. Oh, you know why? Because I know exactly why. I had that stupid measurement tool open. And when you do that, it screws up. Man, you'd think I'd know that by now. I've played hundreds of hours of this stuff.
You
All
think?
right.
You would think, but nope. 11 has to be better than last time.
At the very start of the initiative, he's going to use a legendary action,
Heal us.
and he'll
Right,
cast
he's gonna
Blade Ward.
play. Oh, that's a good one, but it won't last around, buddy.
Yeah. Well, it'll last. It'll last.
Does that count for magical weapons?
Right. It does. It'll last until the legendary action 22 happens again. So he will have Blade Ward up until the start of his next turn
Oh, really?
because of how the legendary action is hitting.
I thought Blade Ward was only non-magical, but this could be a special Blade Ward.
It's resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing dealt by weapon attacks. It's
Oh.
always been that good. And then on his initiative,
Stupid legendary action.
he's going to move forward past the smoke up onto the piece there, standing in front of Hawk and Malik, and he has a sword in one hand and an empty just fist in the other. He opens his hand, looks over towards towards Rocky, and shuts his hand. When he does so, Rocky becomes a pile of rubble.
Oh, you killed Rocky! You bastard!
Guys, just don't flank him.
Don't flank him. Okay.
All right, Hawk.
Hawk is going to attack. Oh.
Hawk is going to flank him. I think I trust you guys.
Okay. You swing at him. That will. Yeah, that'll hit.
Yes.
I'll take 6 damage.
Okay, and again.
Wait, he only takes 6 damage?
Yes. Crit.
He is immune to crits, so he will take 13. So half is 6.
Immune to crits.
Looks like his armor is made out of adamantine.
Ooh.
He's taking half damage too. Shit.
He cast Blade Ward, so he's taking half damage from that.
Right.
That's gonna miss.
He blocks. What were you saying, Boo?
I said, don't forget to strip him after we murder him.
Oh, right. Of course.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
forget to what?
He's probably gonna disappear. His whole body will just disappear into nothingness, and his armor,
Yeah, I want that armor.
and his weapons.
Okay. Hold on a second here. Did the doubling thing again because I always
I'm
forget.
gonna hold on. Do you think I should hold on to the action surge until he loses that blade ward? That's what I'm thinking.
Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's a good idea.
Zelbor, right before your turn, I'm going to take a legendary action.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Strike. He's going to make a... you can see that he is holding a sword in one hand and has an empty hand in the other. As he kind of like closes his hand, he opens his hand, and out from his hand drops, just like it seems to just manifest out of his palm, the head of a just dire-looking flail. The chain descending down as the head of it drops, and he closes his hand around a handle. He spins it around over his head and brings it down towards Hawk. 26
That
hits.
is a hit. Oh, yeah.
9 points of damage. All right.
Okay.
Zelborz, now you're up.
Well, I have to say,
This is going to be a tough
I
one.
really just want to give this guy a fist bump.
Okay. Which,
Do it.
hold on a second. And, which one are you going to go with?
As I said, I'm giving him a fist bump to the face.
Okay. Hold on a second. Let me get it set.
I really hope this works. If this doesn't, I literally just shit useless in this fight. My last high level spell.
You should be able to maneuver the hand now.
Okay. I can. Let's put that there. Let's turn that there.
Nice.
Nice. All right. So this will be a clenched fist. So make a spell attack. Oh yeah, that'll hit. He is immune.
Beautiful.
He is immune to crits, and he will. He will take half damage. Looks like he's resistant to force
All I
damage.
have after first and second level spells, guys.
It was resist force damage as well.
Well, it's Blade Ward. Or wait,
That's not
Blade
blessed
Ward
force.
only stops bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. It looks like he's just innately resistant to that.
This is brutal.
well, as I said, I'm out of high level spells.
That's all right. You're doing great. This is good.
All right.
Boo.
Boo, before your turn, I'm going to take yet another and my last legendary action. He'll cast this spell. All right. Go ahead, Boo.
That was brutal. I'm gonna shoot him.
Go for it. Okay, that'll hit. That'll hit. That'll hit. These are from just a normal weapon?
Yeah, but they're all magic arrows.
Oh, okay. Well,
This.
that is a good deal. And
So
something.
they all hit as magic, but then they immediately say,
So
Okay.
the 18 hits?
No, sorry, the 18 misses. I apologize.
okay. I'll take 2 out of 3.
Okay, so 6 and 7.
It's going to be a long fight.
Could do. Okay. I don't know how that got mixed up. I think Mel was actually supposed to go before Boo.
Man, he's resistant to magic damage too?
He cast Blade Ward. Blade Ward makes him resistant to all bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing, not from a source type.
But
Okay.
magic damage.
Sure, I get you, but the arrow still does piercing damage. Yeah, so
Oh.
it's a magical weapon that does piercing damage. Blade Ward just gives you resistance to all bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage.
I understand. I was
Okay.
misinterpreting what the magic arrow trait was,
Okay.
I think.
So I think I had people out of order and I skipped Malik. So I'm going to go ahead and say, Malik, take your action now. And you just held for some reason, and then we'll go around back to the top.
All right. So
You were so overwhelmed with sadness for Rocky that
it's
yeah.
bothering the hell out of me. I am going to actually cast.
Kick ass.
I wish I could do that. I'm gonna cast. Well, I don't. Actually, I'm not gonna cast that. Never mind. I think I'm just going to try to smite him. Hopefully that will do some damage. So actually, I can attack twice. I'll try to first attack. Let's see. Sorry, I was thinking of doing something else. I changed my mind. So I'm going to do this. Attack him with my trident. Ooh, that'll probably hit. Okay, now comes the fun part. I'm going to use a level 3 smite. So I'm hoping that this does a little bit of damage. So I gotta click smite and then do level 3. All right, 1 second. Where is it? It's right here. Sorry, right here. Boom. All right, now it has to ask me what level. Man, my thing is going really slow. Like I clicked on it and nothing's happening. Oh, there it goes. All right, sorry about this. I'm gonna blame this all on. Now, there should be an extra D8 in this. It's not going to show up here, but I get an extra D8 because of my level. Wait, I thought it was supposed to show something there.
Just roll a D8.
Well, when I do Divine Smite, I do 2D8 and then a D8 per level. So that would be, one would be 2D8. So there would be 4D8, and then so it's going to be 5D8 because I have that.
Because of the
D8.
Divine Smite ability from the Paladin baseline.
Right.
Okay, so roll 5D8.
Sorry.
One at a time. That works too.
That works. Sorry. Oh my gosh, they're horrible too.
9, 13, 13, and 6 is 19.
And 19 plus 10.
You mean 5?
Oh, you're right, 5 because it's halved.
Yep. You reach forward with your trident. All 3 prongs of it glow with radiant energy, and you slam into what looks like an adamantine shell around this body. As it lances into like a space between the partitions between the armor, you can see that you're not stabbing flesh; you're just stabbing more rock, and the piercing kind of blocks off of it, but the radiant energy surges into that position and causes a bit of shards of the stone to fly out to the side.
Cool.
He hates radiant energy, so I'm going to attack him again.
He's just not resistant to it.
He still hates it. in my mind, at least he hates it. That's probably not going to hit. Right?
He brings in his blade that he's been holding just to quickly knock away the weapon with kind of an angry glare in his face. And I totally had a handout for this. Hold on a second. Here, let me give you some cool times. I forgot to give you this. This is what he looks like.
Ooh.
He looks like an asshole.
He's a Black Knight.
None shall pass.
Does he have the... No, he doesn't have the awesome sword. He has something different.
He has the amulet.
Very cool.
Okay, so we already did everybody else. We're going to the top of the initiative. It goes to his turn, and he's used all 3 of his legendary actions, so he has to refresh them on his turn. Blade Ward canceled in the initiative beforehand, and at the start of his turn, you look at the wound that you just caused, and he kind of like looks at it reflexively, and you see it just seal back, and the stones that hit the ground fly back up into their position inside of his armor. He appears to be regenerating.
Yeah.
All right. He will cast a spell. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it did. Cool. He's going to create it so that it searches through Hawk, Boo, and Zelbor, and it's going to basically create a panel square around him and Malik.
I don't.
Awesome.
You don't understand. Let me draw.
So he has basically enclosed himself in with Malik.
Yeah, hold on.
Ooh, we got a little conference going on here.
Hold on.
Little meeting with the principal.
Because it's what is it? 20 feet in length. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, hold on. He's casting it as a 5th level spell. If you create a span greater than 20 feet in length, okay. You must half the size of each panel. Okay, so what's the... It would be 6 inches thick, and it's composed of 10 foot by 10 foot panels. 10 foot by 10 foot panels. Okay, perfect.
I have no counter spell right now. Otherwise,
He's trying to cut you off from healing.
Perfect.
Mel.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So that's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, perfect. There doesn't appear to be a roof to it, but it goes up 10 feet. And as I mentioned before, this room has a ceiling that is, does anybody remember? Some of you fell down it.
Oh no! So you're saying it's only like
20 feet high. So there's 10 foot of gap between his ceiling
Oh.
and the ceiling above him. He doesn't have a ceiling on top of his, though. And he will then, immediately after his turn completes, hold on a second.
You will cast a spell. Fuck the healer.
No, I'll go ahead. No, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just thinking. I'm going to go ahead and let Hawk take his turn.
Okay, so I can climb over this wall, right?
Completely flat and sheer. You can give it a try, though.
Okay, I'm going to step back 1. And I'll try to climb over the wall and land here.
Make an athletics check. I've set the DC in my head for a flat surface of 10 foot height.
I'm guessing it's a large number.
Yeah, you're good enough. You can go ahead and move. You moved back 5, 10, 15, and we'll say getting up onto the wall is 20. If you just want to vault over it, it'll be 20 as well.
Great, and then
Step into melee square and attack.
that's what I want to do. Great.
Okay.
So no more blade ward?
No more blade ward. That's correct. That'll hit. Oh, I'm still drawing. Hold on.
Okay.
Wait, what happened to you? You're totally gone and from my screen.
He's on top of you. He's actually underneath
he's
you.
on. Okay.
So I've attacked twice. So can I go again?
You missed with the second one. That's right. Go ahead.
And now I'm going to burn my action surge.
Okay.
Damn it. Yes. Okay, so
Backing away will. Oh, you hit with that last one.
30.
No, hold on. I've got up to. Don't trick me on that. I've got up until this. I got the 17, and then I need that 12, so 6 more. The 17 was halved, or not halved. We're not blade warded. So yeah, so 12 more. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I just didn't see that last one drop because I was typing a thing. And then you're gonna back away.
So do I have to back away?
You cannot stay in the same square as him.
Attack, right?
Yeah, but here we go.
Okay. Not much I can do.
Trigger and attack.
That's not good.
He drops the flail and grabs the sword with both hands.
Oh shit, that
take.
hits.
That's really not good.
Oh, sorry, it didn't roll the 2d10 in the macro. When he wields the sword two-handed, it does an extra 2d10. So 7 and 15 is 22, 30, 40 damage.
Ouch.
I'm immune to crits.
Don't you
Consider
wish?
healing me when you get a chance.
And then he will then take his legendary action after your turn and before Malik. He's going to use Greater Shape, which costs 2 legendary actions of his 3.
Ouch. That hurt.
Right. Boo, make a wisdom, or sorry, yeah. Boo, make a wisdom saving throw. The aura currently has a wall in between you and it, so you do not gain the effects of being within 10 feet of Malik. Zach, you
Does
there?
he maintain his concentration after all those hits from Hawk
What concentration was he on?
for the wall?
Does that have a concentration?
I don't think that's concentration. No, it is concentration.
That's the lamest shit ever. Okay. Advantage on Constitution saving
He had a
throws.
whole bunch. Oh,
Yeah, he sure did. Hold on, I'm just making sure I have all of my stuff right for my guy before I click it. What is it? How many times is it?
It's 2 top concentration checks, I think, of PC.
I hit him for every time he's hit.
Yeah, 1 for each time. Yeah.
Yeah. So both should be a DC of 10 to hit then.
Right. I just need to know how many I need to click.
I think it's just 2.
Just 2 hits. It's more than that.
No, it's 3 hits.
Three hits. Okay.
3 hits.
All right. Here we go. Advantage, and here's the checks.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, I'm good.
Oh, but that wasn't nice.
He didn't crit fail anything. He has advantage on Constitution saving throws.
Darn it, Warcaster.
It's not no. Well, I mean, yes, that too, but no, he has advantage straight across the board on Constitution saving throws.
Oh.
So in between, he's casting a spell, and then I need you to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Who's you?
Boo.
Boo. Boo, that's who.
Let me double check something.
Boo-hoo.
I think you passed. You're good. DC 17.
Nice.
Sweet.
Hold on. Yeah, just everything seems to be concentration. So, yeah. He wouldn't have cast it because he wants the wall. I didn't know the wall of stone was a concentration spell. That's why my brain's not working right.
That sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
sorry.
It's okay. Good catch. I'm sorry. I didn't catch it when I was building the encounter. So that's fine. Yeah, it doesn't work. Whatever he was doing. We'll just go with that.
Okay.
Yep. Wasted 2 legendary actions, and Malik, you're up.
All right. I will look at that thing, touch Hawk, and say, we'll continue this outside. And boom. We dimension door out of there. I could take one willing creature with me. I'm going to plop
God.
Hawk right here. I know you guys don't want to be out here, but I don't want to be in there with them. So Hawk's going to be right here, and I'm going to be right next to...
To be in the circle.
Okay.
No, you have to be next to me,
No.
don't you?
It doesn't
Okay,
have
we'll
to
be
be
here
here
then.
then. At this point, does it?
You could be over here. You don't want to be in there?
I don't think we're allowed to be out of that circle, right?
I think that was just for when we appeared. I think right, John?
Yeah.
What was that?
Going outside of the purple circle is allowed at this
Yeah, you can go anywhere you want.
Yeah, you could, but you're teleported with me, so you have to be right next to me somehow.
Okay.
Didn't we have like a huge problem with Dimension Door in this room before?
No, that wasn't Dimension Door. That was
Oh, that
Magnificent.
was the.
You guys are not traveling to a different dimension with Dimension Door.
Right.
It's just
So
the name of it.
I believe
And that was
that's
only because I didn't know that we were dimensional space.
If he was casting Plane Shift or something like that, yeah, he would die.
I believe that is an action. So, as like my, can I want to take out I have 2 greater potions of greater healing. Can I take them out of my backpack or whatever and give one to me and one to Hawk, and say cheers? Can I do that?
You can pull out one item.
Okay, I'll pull out one and give it to Hawk then, and say this is
You're the man.
This is a potion of greater healing. Don't spend it all in one place. All right, I guess that's it then. We're out of there, guys.
Man,
We're
Wall of
waiting for them
Stone
to come kill us.
sucks.
No, it's really good if you're fighting people that can't get out of it,
Oh,
because you can
no,
wall them off and shit.
that reminds me. Everybody that I mentioned, except for Malik, should have taken 4 damage because when I first created the wall, you were all in the wall. Big whoop-de-doo, but yeah. It was
Oh,
basically
that
creating to
damage.
ward you away. 4 whole damage. Take it.
Took it. Taken.
I'm unconscious.
Really?
Oh, I'm gonna have to go get you up then.
I'm fine. I'm kidding.
Oh, and
I thought you were unconscious.
apparently Malik should have gotten a dexterity saving throw to not be enclosed in the wall. Man, that spell sucks.
Yeah, it's kind of lame compared to like Wall of Fire.
Like, horde encounters and that's it.
Yeah. I need to rework Gavalis' nonsense because that spell being concentration and also the just weakness of the spell, from what I recall from 3rd edition. I should have read. Okay,
Spells, John.
that's fine. Zelbor, before yours, he was going to take his last legendary action. And he's going to...
You already used 3, right?
I've used 2. And I used the 2 on greater shape. When my turn started, I haven't used any since then. I'm no longer blade warded or anything like that.
Casts murder.
Yeah. I'm going to use Sense. He knows exactly where everybody is.
Okay.
You're up.
Finish him, though.
I'm going to. Okay, so wait a minute. The wall is circle, or it's around him, right?
Mm-hmm. The yellow line is 10 feet up.
Right. So yeah. Oh, a second. So he's surrounded by the wall. Like he's inside of it. He's not on top of it.
Yeah, he's
right?
inside of it. Correct.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure of. In which case, I am going to get onto my broom. And I'm going to just fly over to there, just so I feel slightly safer. I'm only like, I'm just using it more for the speed than for like the height or at this point.
Okay.
I know that using Bigby's hand is a bonus action now. But could I hold that? Could I use that as my action to hold until I can see him again, and then the hand will move to him and punch him?
So it's an action to control it, right?
I think it's a bonus action to control it. I was just reading Wall of Stone. That is not the correct one.
No,
Can
that's the name
you
one.
use the hand to block his exit from the wall?
I mean, he just has to break concentration, and the stone wall is very much.
He can just, the wall's his to change in shape as he pleases. If he doesn't want it anymore, it's gone.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right.
Unfortunately, I wish it was still just there and couldn't be moved or shaped. I need to work the encounter so that that's the case.
Yeah, and John, it is as a bonus action.
You muted out. As a bonus action, you said? If you want to ready your action to react, take a bonus action, and not get an action, I'll allow you to do that.
That's fine.
Okay. Boop.
I can't see him.
He is inside a
And
10-foot.
I have no intention of trying to scale that wall to shoot him. So I'm going to take the dodge action and hope for the best.
Can you throw a holy hand grenade in there?
If I had one, I would.
When you're ready in action, when he pops out, you can shoot.
Nope, because I don't know this guy and I don't know how powerful he is, and one of us needs to survive an AoE attack.
That's gonna be you.
So you want to stand in a tight group then? Or move away?
No, I'm going to also move. I forgot we can move off the circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, just to be sure, no one is readying any actions except for the hand, right?
Yep.
Right.
And the readied action is if he comes up or if the wall goes down, he's going to punch him?
Or basically, if I see him, it's going to move over and punch him.
Okay.
It can move 60 feet and then do an action.
Yep. So you hear steps on the glass as he seems to be walking towards the southern end of the wall. Then you hear footsteps against stone, not glass. And then you see him actually just kind of roll up like vampire style or like David Bowie in the Labyrinth. Just kind of whoop up to the top of the stone wall. Go ahead and take your readied action.
Okay, I will move that down there, and then I am going
Fist.
Miss. He seems to just ignore it as he drops down between Mel and Zell. Or I'm sorry, Mel and Hawk. Go ahead and take the attack action this time. As he's doing so, you notice that the flail is in his hand again.
Oh, guys.
He'll make 3 attacks, longswords against Hawk.
Hit. Hit.
Oh.
Hit.
Yes.
No, that's a miss.
Yeah. And then he'll make 2 flail attacks against Malik.
So 23.
Hit. Hit.
All right.
Ouch, that hurts. So is that
As
25 then?
a
or is it
bonus
like-
action, he makes the 2 flail attacks. What's that?
Is that 25 or is there additional?
Just 25.
Good.
Yeah, he gets bonus damage if he attacks with just the sword two-handed. And that was his turn. Movement and attack. As a legendary action after his turn, he'll cast Blade Ward. And you notice that some of the damage that you inflicted upon him, Hawk, has the rubble that was there has reformed into the spots where you hit him.
We've got to go.
It seems that he's made out of stone, and also this is a cool thing where he did that thing. All right, yeah. Legendary action, shape, and cast Blade Ward. And I'm done. Go ahead, Hawk.
I'm gonna drink the potion that Malik gave me.
Should be superior.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
Oh!
He's laughing. He's laughing.
I love you guys. You are my favorite.
You know what?
I think we might.
I should have done something different. You know what? I should have done something completely. That's. I need to drink that. I need to do action surge. I'm not gonna survive another. Fuck. Okay.
You can take the withdraw or the disengage action and run.
Yeah, do that. We'll all do it.
Which
So
one?
we're gonna second wind also. I don't know
I can't
if you
second win because I stupidly took the potion as my bonus action.
Second wind is a bonus action, yeah.
I used my bonus action, so it would have been way better than that.
Even if you rolled maximum, it would have been way better than that. Because you're 15th level now, right?
13th.
13.
Okay. Oh, right. This guy's a challenge rating 15.
We're
I
all
remember
out of
that.
here because we all.
Did we run?
Doesn't look like there's anywhere to run because remember the way you got in was the ceiling up above him.
Okay. So someone has to pick me up because I'm gonna probably go down after this, but I'm gonna attack.
Okay. Solid. I'll take that
2.
damage. Go ahead. And that will hit. So 6 more.
Aiming for the amulet.
And that will miss. He kind of raises the sword up like this and catches the edge of your blade in between the sword guard and the blade and kind of turns it inward and then moves it away. As he does so, you notice that the sword he's holding kind of has like a curved blade to it and a very elvish kind of look to it. The blade itself kind of has the same kind of pattern welding style as most of the swords you've seen. The sword you saw downstairs and the sword that you kind of saw when you gave it to the King's sword, the +3 magic sword. It looks really cool, is what I'm trying to say here. Okay, Hawk to Malik. Between you two, he's going to take second of his legendary actions. He will just attack with the long sword, normal. And this is against Hawk, so that'll miss.
Yep.
Zelb or Malik, go ahead.
All right, guys. Unfortunately, almost all of my lay on hands points were gone. But I do have 10 left, so as a bonus action, I can give them to Hawk.
Do you need them?
I need him too, but he's attacking you more.
Okay.
So
before you do anything, just do me a favor. As you're kind of looking at Hawk bleeding and looking at this thing as it's kind of reformed itself, make a nature check for me, just because I want one.
I wish this...
Intelligence nature.
Okay.
I know it's not your thing, but yeah. Okay.
Hey, I rolled good.
You're kind of looking at him, and you realize that he is made out of rock. Like you are fighting a rock monster. Take that, and that's what you're basically learning here. Whatever this thing is, it seems to be like your friend Rocky in that it appears to be a rock monster. All right.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't think I can't think of anything that I have that's particularly good at a rock.
Sure,
I understand. Fighting a rock, but there might be something. I know there's stuff out there. I could think of Shatter would be great to have.
Shatter is a good one.
Would be a good one, but I don't have those.
Yeah.
Unless there's something I'm just not seeing.
Zelbor?
Wait, that was just a bonus action. That was a bonus action.
Oh,
and
sorry.
And then as an action, boy. That is the question. All right, I think what I will do is I will have to cast Cure Light Wounds at 2nd level to Hawk. I'm going to try to keep him alive for as long as possible. So let me do that. I don't know, I'm not sure if this is working right. Last time I used it, it wasn't like when I picked level 2, it would still only roll as a level 1. So let's see if this one works. I clicked on it. 11. Yeah, it's probably not right because there should be another D8, so I'll add another D8 on there.
Okay.
So he gets 11 plus whatever I roll.
You said you're casting as a 3rd level or 2nd?
2nd.
Oh, okay.
So he gets 17, which is better than nothing, but that's
no. The first one casted as a 2nd level.
No, it didn't.
Oh, it didn't. Yeah, that's weird.
Because the 5 is my charisma on the first roll. For some reason, it's not like the spell's not right. I don't know exactly how to fix it.
Okay.
You just have to
17's fine. Just go ahead and heal at 17.
Alright, so I could move now if I wanted. I don't think I want to move. I'll just stay where I am. Keep my shield up.
You sure?
We could talk this over.
Go try it.
Right?
You didn't like the trait that I showed you when Hawk moved away from him?
Nope, I didn't like that trick.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
I'm gonna stay here.
Okay. Between Mel and Zell, it will take another legendary action. It's last for this turn. The first one, of course, was the Blade Ward. The second one, of course, was the attack against Hawk and the miss. This is his 3rd for this round. He will cast a cantrip on his next attack.
Ooh.
Sadly, the last...
Who did he point at?
Oh, he's pointing at Hawk.
Of course.
Yeah, the last time he did that, Hawk drew the opportunity attack. So. Wasn't as cool as it could be. Zelbor, you're up.
Okay. First of all, you look like Cyclops from the X-Men. And when they said Red Bull gave you wings, they might have actually tried giving you impressive ones.
It's a witty joke. I hate you for saying it because yes, the facial design is kind of based off of Dark Phoenix Cyclops because I love Cyclops. I hate you. Wisdom saving throw. This is against psychic damage.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I was trying to do that too because it would give him disadvantage.
Yeah, so you're just neutral out against Hawk. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that was my action. Bonus action. Again, this is a slightly desperate measure.
Around the wall and hit.
I'm going to try to use Grasp in Hand. So I'm going to try to grapple him with babies.
Good idea.
Which, yeah, so it'll be a grapple contest.
Okay.
I probably will lose. But
Hey, Boo, can you use that ability where you see how many HP he has?
I'm afraid of losing more wisdom, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Okay, so we have that casting
I
spell?
blame you for that. Well, no, like, every single time we've cast a spell of seeing, yes,
Okay,
that's
okay.
what happened.
Yeah,
And then
it's
I'm
not been
going
good.
to go over
That's
here
fine.
and join our good friend Boo. Well, actually, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go over.
Regarding his
Here.
ability, it's coming from the Arcane Archer feature, and because it was kind of invading on the essence of the world, which is what that thing is really blocking, by the way. Any ability that I feel invades on the essence of the world, it's And so detect magic is fine. Identify for magic items is fine. You're just kind of understanding what's already present, but being able to see through the veil is what's the blocking measure. If it came from something else, if it was like a martial ability, I'd be fine with that. But because he's a weird spellcastery fighter type thing, I ruled it that way. Do you?
And then I flew up 10 feet and then went over.
Okay.
I'm like 10 feet in the air right now.
Okay. So he's behind the wall, so he can't see you. Is basically it. Got it. Boo. Miss, hit, and hit. So.
And on the last one, I also want to hit him with that.
If the arrow hits a creature, the target takes an extra 7 psychic damage, and it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be unable to see anything farther than 5 feet. Okay. Okay. I'm
PC 13.
I'm not going to even roll it because he doesn't see.
That's fine.
Are you really using combat sight or no?
Oh no, I didn't need to click that. Oh my
Okay.
god, I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize I did that with my palm. Please don't count that.
You totally die.
Okay.
I literally just told him I wasn't going to do that.
No, I know. That's why I asked. I made sure. Okay, it goes to his initiative. And he's going to go with, first he's going to regenerate. You see stones actually come up over the wall and kind of return to him and reform a bit. He then raises his hand to the amulet, and you see magic kind of emanate over him, and you see the stone underneath, which is kind of like a grayish kind of color, turn jet black. You recognize the spell, spellcasters. Just go ahead and roll an Arcana check to be sure you do.
I mean, you said I can't see him right now, so.
No, you hear him talking.
Oh, I hear him talk. Okay, that works then.
Nope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Zelbor, this is what he casts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't work at all like I thought it did either. Forget that spell. No, I don't even want that spell. That spell sucks.
Stone Skin? Yeah,
Stone
it's not
Skin
that
used to
great.
give you like a buffer of hit.
So isn't it essentially Blade Ward?
It's worse than Blade Ward.
Yeah, it's kind of better, kind of worse.
It's concentration too. Oh my god.
Yeah.
No,
Spells are concentration.
I thought
Less than an hour.
I was under the mistaken idea that was a good spell, and I was wrong.
Hey, wait a second. You didn't let me take.
No. I built this encounter. Shut up. No. I built this encounter when I was like in 3rd edition town, like when I was a young buck, okay? And I rebuilt it quickly off of my sheet, okay? And so this spell does not do what I imagined it would do when this encounter was built. Not.
My spell did not do what I thought it would do. You still.
Wait. Which spell? Which spell?
Magic Mansion. I didn't know we were in an extra dimensional space. I would not have used that spell.
That's different. You knew what the mansion did. Okay, you did not pay attention
I didn't
to.
know we were in an extra dimensional space.
That's the one.
Right. John is saying that functionally he didn't know what Stone Skin did. Whereas
I didn't know Stone Skin sucked.
Knew what the
Functionally, I didn't know that was going to happen in that room.
correct, but it's different because of the context as opposed to the knowledge of the spell itself.
Right, I'm right. You're totally wrong.
I agree with you.
That's
Michelle.
the
I
DM.
really did not know we were
I totally thought that was going to be my buffer of hit points. I should have just taken cures. I have to rework this thing from what I had built. So, yeah, apologies
You're
for
still
me.
kicking our ass. It's all right.
That's fine. It's
Yeah, we're going to TPK
this
anyway.
thing is supposed to be just a buzzsaw machine. So it's also supposed to be able to heal itself. But Stone Skin doesn't give you a buffer of hit points anymore. So it's gonna go ham. I'm gonna take 3 attacks. First attack has advantage against Hawk.
So he that was an action. He gets another attack.
I didn't cast Stone Skin. I'm not
You
casting.
did
that
not
spell.
cast Stone Skin.
I need to erase that spell from his list because it's
Okay,
right.
so that's a miss.
Yeah. Definitely, even with advantage. And yeah, I know I'm bullshit. I'm sorry. Second attack against Hawk misses.
Definitely a hit.
Why couldn't that have been the one? And the last
that
one.
doesn't have advantage.
That's a hit.
First one misses. Second one misses. Third one hits. The second one missed because it didn't have advantage. Only the first
Oh.
attack from True Strike had it. So
And
you're,
it would have had advantage because Matt hit, or it would have been canceled out by his disadvantage.
So I
from
just
vicious
take
mockery.
so I
Didn't hit
take 10 damage, right?
you'll take a total of 10. Yeah, the vicious mockery didn't hit.
Oh, I thought it did.
No.
No,
Super
it's
high.
not. He rolled a natural 20 on his.
I'm super jealous. He'll take 2 flail attacks against Malik, missing all of them and throwing the flail wildly off to the side. When he does so, you see him kind of like grasp the hilt of the sword, and when he does so and like grasps it, you hear the flail kind of crack against the wall and just break, and then you see the wall behind him, the stone wall, shatter.
Oh, nice. He's shattered the stone wall. I am no man. I am a Drent. I say to him, and I stab my sword through his face. Except not a sword.
It's not your turn.
It is Hawks, but before that happens, he'll use Shape to cast Blade Ward.
I will do Second Wind.
Way better than 4 and 4.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Not bad. And then just swing away at this guy, knowing it's going to take half damage.
That'll hit. That'll hit. And that'll hit. And just in case you guys haven't noticed, in the West Marches game, it's always against the player. This game has always been a little different. It's round up, round down, round up, round down, back and forth. So you get a 0.5 effect. So that doesn't matter to you guys. Don't worry about it. I'll do the number crunching. Between Hawk and Malik, I'm going to go ahead and take another legendary.
Because gritting his teeth and blood and sweat is
I'm
dripping
gonna
down.
Two-handed swing at Hawk. Miss. You guys lock blades. You look into his weird visor, and you can see the stone behind, and you can hear the voice just ringing out in your head and inside of your body. Governus! Governus! Have you been bloodied this fight?
Have I been bloodied this fight? 90. No.
No? Okay.
I have.
Maybe you don't matter.
Yeah, you don't matter, Malik.
So even when I targeted
So-
the amulet, nothing happened.
No. When you said that one time you did, he blocked that attack.
Okie dokie. Remind me to target it next time, folks.
All right, I'll target
Okay.
it. We're right next to each other. We can talk strategy. All right. What I'm going to do is target that amulet.
Okay. Are you attempting to break the amulet or remove it from him?
I'm going to try to remove it from him.
Okay,
Like,
don't
it's
make
gonna be really cool.
don't make an
Get
attack.
it on the trident and then have it come down the
I
shaft of the
think you need
trident.
to break it because
D-
Hawk was holding it and it flew out of his hands.
Don't make an attack
Oh.
if you're trying to secure it. If you're trying to get it off of him by like forking it off of him, make an athletics check with
What would
strength.
you have told me to do?
Well, he didn't tell you to do
Get it
anything.
off of
He didn't tell you to do anything.
No.
And you currently have
I'll
the
just-
Devil of
Do what you were
Zelvor
gonna do.
and the Angel of
I
Hawk
would
on your
do-
shoulders.
What I would have done would probably do athletics and try to just like
Go for
get
it.
it off of him, right?
Yeah,
So,
sure.
why not?
Your turn.
That's not so good.
His hand, kind of the open hand, lets go of the bottom of the hilt, and he grasps that area. You kind of just catch Gauntlet with your forks, and you're not really stabbing. You're kind of trying to lift, so it doesn't do any damage to him. You still have another attack, attempting
I
a
will
grapple,
attack him
or
with my.
in this case, a weird disarm.
I will try to get it off him by instead of taking it off of him, like by what was the other option? Like forcing it or breaking it, trying to break it. So do I roll an attack roll?
You would make an
or-
attack roll if you're trying to break it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what I will do then. Hopefully this is like the crit that you need. It is not the crit you need. But
Okay.
it's a 19.
Yeah, it doesn't hit. He manages to keep that gauntlet over the thing, and it just kind of bounces off of the armor.
Fine. I will cast Healing Word on Hawk.
Mhm.
Because I can. Level 2. Hopefully this one works like it's supposed to, but we'll see. Alright, so you're going to get a little bit more healing. Hopefully more than drinking that potion. That's not much at all. Does that work right, though? I don't think that's
It
right.
technically is more than what he did.
It's only it's one d4 plus your charisma.
That's wrong. I need to roll an extra d4. So, I mean, it's
Did
not
you-
much, but it's better than
Wait, did
nothing.
you do it at second level?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's 11 instead of 9. That's not much better, but
Well, I mean, even the 9 was better than the potion.
yeah, true.
John, did you see whether I can't remember if I just added the 9.
Yeah, I saw it go up.
Okay, thanks.
All right, between Mel and Zell, I'm going to go ahead and take my last legendary action. I'm not even going to click it. It's a strike. I'm going to go ahead for Hawk. That will hit for 17 damage.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, plus 2d10. We can fix that macro so the next time I swing it,
Wait, that wasn't an advantage, though.
it doesn't matter. Gavlos deals 2d10 extra damage when he makes an attack with two-handed weapon. I haven't included that in the macro.
I'll take your word for it.
25. He hits harder with a single weapon, but can only attack 3 times. If he attacks with both weapons, he attacks 5 times.
Gotcha.
He is a blending machine.
Wait, that's wrong. Hold on.
So John, I forgot to mention this last time, but Zelvor is kind of getting mad at this guy.
Oh, the orb starts floating over his head.
Yeah, I meant to mention that last time, but I forgot.
Okay. No problem.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to bonus action just try to smack him around some.
Okay. All right, you hit.
Okay,
He
so I at
takes-
least something. And then just roll your wisdom saving throw DC at 18, and I'll
What do you cast on me? All right.
what else? I literally have nothing else.
It'll be great if it worked. That would be really helpful.
I mean, Cyclops is honestly just the most annoying X-Men.
That's right. The lamest X-Men.
You bastard!
That's 2 crits you've wasted from me, you piece of shit. I want those to be hitting Hawk, not rolling against your nonsense, not being smart and good at knowing what comics are about. Cyclops is the best, and Wolverine is overrated.
By the best, you mean the worst, right?
I hate you. Get out of my game. Anybody out there in the stream want to replace Matt because he's a fart face? Go ahead, Boo. You're up. I would never.
It's true,
I would never.
Cyclops is the worst.
I would never replace you. You like my Cyclops. Shooting him. He looks pretty wounded. Like a lot of his parts are falling out.
Really?
Hit.
Does he look bloodied?
So 4, 6, and 5. So 15. I don't know how you bloody a rock, but sure.
I know.
Also gonna do
Put blood on the rock. It's blood.
that just for funsies.
Okay. The target takes an extra 5 poison damage. Its speed can't be reduced. And he takes damage if he moves 1 foot or more without teleporting. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So 6 more damage. Or 5 more damage. Okay, cool. It goes to his turn. You see stones that are laying on the ground just kind of snap back up into position inside of his armor. And he is going to just go ape on you there, buddy.
Who's that?
That's you. He's going to do so with a single sword.
Your mom is so fat.
3 attacks. My mom died.
Your mom is so fat.
No, I'm talking as a character. My mom died. Hit, miss, and crit. I need to roll. I need to roll a lot. I didn't add that in the macros because I told you I totally was going to, but
Just give me a number, whatever. Yeah, that's bad.
You might.
I'm in bad shape.
So 31 plus 17 is 48. 48 plus 12 is an even 60.
How much? 70?
60. No, 70. You're right. I'm bad at math.
Really? 70?
Why did you correct him on his math?
Yeah, so it would have been 58
Do it again.
58 plus 12 is where I was at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 70. Are you bloodied now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I've only got 27 HP left, guys.
He hits him in the shoulder, and the pauldron kind of knocks him astride. And then he brings a second blade in and kind of catches Hawk in the shield. And he kind of, backs away a bit. Then he brings the next blow in and catches Hawk right in the, like where the pauldron meets the gorget, like the neck area. Hawk lets out a light cry of agony as the blade strikes in true with that crit. Hawk, as you do, you see your own blood just jet out of you and splash onto his hand and his face and his arm. And when it does so, he kind of lets out a grunt similar to your own cry of pain. You see some of the pieces that were setting themselves into place just fall back out, and he kind of just holds the blade there. Hawk, before your turn, you see him raise up his hand and quickly move it, what he's been doing to cast Blade Ward, and it's your initiative.
Can I try to grapple him and smear my blood all over him?
Yeah, you can certainly, as just an attack action, attempt to smear blood on him. Go ahead and just make a grapple attempt with advantage.
So is that athletics?
Athletics, yeah. And again, you have advantage. Okay, that'll still fail. You try and reach out for him with the blood. You see that
Wait. It rolled. Oh, you rolled. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind. My bad.
Wait, you don't have any luck left, do you?
I've used all my luck.
All four
All four
points.
of them?
All 4 of them.
You've been down here for a while. You see that he's actually afraid of your blood. You bleeding on him seems to kind of scare him away, and he seems to kind of be trying to relinquish the blade from your shoulder and pull himself away. You still have another 2 attacks. You can attempt to grab again. Grab is not an action;
I will.
it is an attack action.
So what does that mean?
You can use, in place of swinging your sword,
So
you
it's
can,
the same athletic check.
yeah, if you want to try and grab him again.
I certainly will.
Okay. And again, you have an advantage. He manages to evade. He's kind of pushing on the blade as you kind of reach out for him. It doesn't seem to be working. The splashing worked. You have one last attempt. Do you want to just grab some of your blood and throw it at him?
Yeah, let's do that.
It works. And you see that it doesn't do any more damage to him, but it seems that the stones are not setting themselves back into place. If the two Arcanists want to roll Arcana real quick.
I cannot take any more attacks without going
all
down,
I'm good
guys.
for right
This
now,
is-
so I
this
might
is
as
it.
well roll well.
Zelbor,
Thank God, because I'm rolling like trash.
Zelbor,
I
you're
have
watching.
nothing left.
You're watching, and you've noticed that at the start of each of his turns, this kind of just change in his posture is what starts the stones from like moving. And he's had a very vigilant stance this whole time. Now, as he's trying to evade the blood and kind of is afraid of it, he doesn't seem to be holding that same kind of posture, and the stones are not coming up to that point. Whatever is in his blood, his blood, is causing this gabalus creature to stop its regeneration.
Hawk, bleed more!
I am.
Okay. Between Hawk and Malik's turn, it will take another legendary action, second for this turn. It will go ahead and take the attack action. It's going to pull the sword out and bring the sword down heavily onto Hawk. That'll hit, take 17. Oh, I still haven't added it. 2d10. 8 more, so 25 damage.
Ooh.
Hits like a
I've
truck.
got a sliver of 2 HP left.
I wanted to chad you. I wanted to chad you
Nope.
so hard.
Nope.
I'm going to fix this macro real quick.
Help.
And I fix it, he means
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been this bad.
No, and the problem is like we started this fight. I had 10 out of my 80 lay on hands hit points because we should have done a rest before this, but we didn't know we were going to fight this guy.
Mhm.
But
Well,
anyways,
we did a short rest.
Zel.
yeah, but I don't get it back on a short rest. I get that stuff
Yeah,
back
Malik,
on a
Malik, you're
long
up.
rest. Yep. What I will do is I will spend both my attacks jumping on that guy and flopping around on him like a fish would. You know, get my fish blood all over him. But also at the same time, I'm going to be trying to pull that amulet off of him. So
Okay.
I do 2 attack rolls or 2
Make 2
athletics
athletics rolls.
All right, I'm gonna try maybe you know how you ever like see when they open a fish and then all the like little eggs come out.
I get it.
That's so gross.
You're
You're talking about caviar right
so gross.
You're
That's
trying.
why I'm going.
You're trying to
He
map.
has a plus 15
I
to his
know, he has a
athletics.
there's
Your
no
next
way
one?
I'm gonna be able to unless he rolls a 1 or something. I'll try it again. I'm just trying to get in his way. Holy crap!
Yeah, I couldn't fail. So basically,
no way
you start like magic cart, and he just kind
Yeah.
of strong arms you, just like he's like this, like a little kid, like trying to reach in and grab at something. He's just holding you back. Your blood
Yeah.
does get on him though. It doesn't seem to have the same effect as Hawk's.
Oh, he hates Hawk's blood more. All right, I will cast as a bonus action cast Healing Word on Hawk. I'm just gonna give him like 5 hit points, but what the hell?
Okay, we'll
It's
see.
level 1. That's all I got left. Give him 5 hit points. Actually, let's give him more than 5 because I have a +5 to it. Ooh,
All right.
here's max.
He's
Check
gonna
that
take
out, 9 hit points.
his last
He'll
legendary.
die less.
He's gonna take his last legendary. He's still strong arming Malik as Malik's saying prayers and like flopping. He's gonna just raise the longsword with one hand up in the air and bring it down on Hawk. He misses.
Misses. Oof.
Hawk kind of spirals aside for a second, kind of bleeding a bit, not on him, just a little bit, yeah, doesn't get smashed. All right, Zelbor.
It's looking pretty dire, Zell.
Yeah. If you have anything big, do it now.
As I said, I've blown all my good spells.
Yeah, wait for this. This is gonna be fun. Go ahead. What are you doing? Cast and Vicious Mockery?
Oh God.
Yeah. Run up and hit him with your sword, and then get killed with us.
Um,
I'll go on. Cast Vicious Mockery.
I once knew this guy named Hawk, who had the most awesome little talk. He'd kick everyone's ass, then lie down in the grass, and all of us would just balk. And you get Bardic Inspiration. Because
Okay, that's good.
I'm just, why not? If
Yeah,
you're
might as
still
well.
alive, you have that. And by the way, just to say, first of all, Jean Grey and Emma Frost could have done so much better
Yeah.
than
No.
whiny.
Wait, stop talking. Hold on. The second you're about to finish that sentence, he turns and he looks back at you and he says, "Shut the fuck up." And as he says that, he casts a spell that's way too high a level to be countering a fucking cantrip.
Nice.
I don't even have any spells to use.
And I know.
Balance would have been better.
That must be because he doesn't need it spell. He
I
doesn't
don't-
need that spell.
I'm pretty sure it's just because he doesn't like my insulting his precious Cyclops.
I had
Yeah.
counter spells ready for you, like ready to go, and you had nothing. This is the only spell you keep casting. I'm not going to waste it on a cantrip. If he keeps insulting Cyclops, I might waste it on a cantrip. He doesn't. I'm wasting this on a cantrip. Boo.
I'm kind of happy about that.
You annoyed the dungeon master. Good job.
Guys, we're all going to die now for real.
It's game over, guys. Yeah, those all hit. So 7 and 6 is 13. 13 and this would be so 7 more. No, 8 more. So 8 and 6, 14, 21 damage.
Don't worry, guys. I'll slowly whittle him down.
He seems to be pretty damn wounded. He actually drops to a knee as the arrows kind of like hit him in the back. On the start of his turn, he doesn't regenerate a bunch of pieces, but he does stand stalwartly again, and it looks like he might be able to do so come round his next turn. He's going to go ahead and just smash with the two-handed longsword. His first attack is going to be into Hawk. That'll hit, knock him down, right?
Yeah, I'm out.
Want to make 2 more attacks against you with advantage? Hit and hit 2 death. Ooh, yeah. 2 failed death saving throws on Hawk, please.
Okay,
So,
guys, this is where things get real.
I auto stabilize in the dying state with my ring. What does that mean?
What ring?
The ring of protection.
Does it say that?
It does.
Let me see.
Must have been a special one.
Must have
That's
been.
not what a normal one. This is what a normal one
No,
says.
it's not what a normal one does. Normal one just
Well,
plus
that's
1.
what I have this notated.
He's got a special one.
I don't remember that.
You gave it to me.
I do remember that. Yep. So you'll automatically stabilize on your turn.
It was a promise ring.
No, I remember.
You're going to die. Ray.
Promise to be the best
No.
DM ever.
It was when you guys butchered the Mages Guild members, the Janaris people, the conglomerate. One of them had a ring on him. It was a ring of protection, but it wasn't a ring of protection. It was a Mages Guild ring. And Mages Guild rings, not only do they have +1 to saves and +1 to armor class, it's also you automatically stabilize death saving throws. That's why they always escape with their dead, because they don't really die. They're always worth keeping. That's it on his turn. His turn concludes. He's going to cast Blade Ward for his legendary action, and it looks like I'm only doing that because I'm only slightly afraid. It does look like he has a legendary action after Malik, and he'll probably use it to butcher Hawk. Oh, Hawk, no death saving throw. We passed your turn. Sorry, it's my turn. Do you have protection
All right.
as a fighting style, Malik?
I do not.
Hmm.
My fighting style is duelist or something.
Man.
Wait a second. Do you have any of your divine things left? Places.
No, because I switched over to a different one, but which would normally help us, I think, if we were fighting him from the beginning. But like I said, we started off, I was pretty low on healing, and I had a decent number of spells. What I would like to do is it possible for me to either drag Hawk out of the way? I want to do like a
You incur an opportunity attack and get Maybe not.
Yeah,
Well,
you
can
can
I
go
do a
ahead.
Withdraw and pull
Well,
him with me.
No, your action will be carrying Hawk, so you cannot tactically retreat while dragging a body. If you want to withdraw yourself and drag the body, I'll take an opportunity attack against the body.
Oh, jeez. Go ahead. Do it.
Yeah.
Can I double move, drag it away?
No, you're just gonna regular one move away from it.
All right. I'm not sure which direction to go. What would be the smartest way?
Away, I think is the
Probably.
goal.
Probably, I guess I would
Somewhere where the other spellcaster who has healing spells could help too, maybe.
come over this way and then pull him down in this direction. I'm not sure how far I can go. I can go 40, so I can go pretty far. How was 40 from there? Or actually, I can't go 40. I already moved.
You have a
10.
20 AC, right?
Yes.
I miss.
All right, I'll go right to there.
Mhm.
I'll go to like here. Oop, now I can't move.
Hawk weighs a lot, right? He's in plate armor and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did
Yep.
somebody tell him to have his movement?
Half my movement.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get
You
very
moved.
far.
You moved 20.
Oh,
you
I
moved
did.
there.
Yeah,
That's fine.
That's fine. All right, so I'll
Okay.
do that. And he didn't get hit, did he?
Mm-mm.
I gotta do something as a bonus action. Could I like drink a potion as a bonus action? One of these crappy potions I
Yeah,
got.
you can drink a potion. That's fine.
I probably can't feed one to him as a bonus action.
Action to do it.
No, that would be an action.
All right, I'll just take one myself then. What the hell? It's supposed to roll the dice for me. Oh well, I'll have to roll it myself. Anyways, next.
He will take a legendary action. He'll cast a spell. He casts, and he points at Hawk. All right, Zelwar. Yeah, he's prone. Who cares? I'm doing it for effect.
Okay, I'm moving over to here. Actually, dang it, I meant to. Hold on a second, let me double check.
At this point, we need to get damage dealers an opportunity
Okay,
to do their
before
damage.
I wanted to, before I move. You know what? Screw it. I'm not going to do it before I move.
So just a reminder, the main thing that you guys know about him so far is that he's pretty well damaged, but he's also made out of stone.
Hawk, you get back 9 hit points.
Okay.
So whatever would hurt
That's-
stone.
Would hurt
Just
it like
think bludgeoning?
acid.
Ask,
Acid or bludgeoning?
All the things that I currently don't have right.
I know. 'cause yours
What do
you're
you
low.
do to defeat a rock?
Go in a
You
river.
no. The thing that you
Cover it
ultimately
with paper.
paper!
right. No. You
It's not scissors.
You smash it.
Smash it.
your dick in.
You break it. And how do
You
you
braid its hair?
and breaking it causes it to
Shatter.
Shatter. I
And
don't have the spell shatter.
and shatter does what kind of damage?
Thunder.
Thunder. I don't have thunder.
Which I
Smite.
currently don't have access to.
I know. It's really lame.
I
I
know.
did save one spell though, one level 3 spell, and I'm saving it for when somebody dies. I can bring them back
Or
because it's gonna happen tonight for
oh,
sure.
it's gonna happen right now, actually.
It's gonna happen pretty soon.
Zelwar, you did a thing, and then it goes
My
to.
bonus action healed, and then that's it.
So when you transgress over the barrier there, where the blackness would turn into the walkway for the mother's passageway, it doesn't. You actually see that there's a cold stone wall on the opposite side of the darkness.
I was actually hoping for that because I just went there. That way I'm just outside of his counterspell range.
Fair.
Oh.
Oh, so
I
you
was
can.
just I was trying to move so that I could actually heal Hawk without getting counter.
You're up, Boo. Can you hear me, Zach?
Yeah, I did put my drink down before I could click the buttons.
Okay. Sorry. Shit.
How's that?
He's immune to crits.
2 of them.
So 5 and 6, and yeah, just the 2. 5 and 6 is 11. You kind of knocked him off kilter, though. He kind of drops to his knee again, like I told you he did last time, but he does appear to still be kind of in the regenerative state. In fact, at the start of his turn, it looks like some of the pieces that just got knocked off of him reapply themselves to him. He then walks across the way.
Sorry, I want to also move to there. I apologize. But yeah, keep going.
Walks to right there. Does the hand get opportunity attacks? That's not a thing, is it?
I don't know, actually. It might, technically, but I don't think so.
No, because you can't use your reaction to command it. You have to use your bonus action.
Right. Okay, moving on.
Oh.
He cuts right down into Hawk.
I say, I accept your surrender. Oh, I thought he was coming over to surrender.
He cuts right down into Hawk.
Yeah, that's it. I'm out.
Dead. And then he turns his attention towards Malik, and he'll make his attacks.
Hello.
Malik, how are you doing for health?
Actually, I have 60 hit points right now, so I'm doing a lot better than Hawk was, but Hawk was getting hit a lot, so it's not going to take many rounds. 2 rounds, maybe 1 round, I'll be down.
That'll hit. That's
Yep.
29.
I'm easier to hit. 29 total hit points? All right.
Uh-huh.
All right.
And
Is Hawk actually dead?
dead.
No. No, how am I dead?
Third death saving throw.
No, it wasn't a death.
No.
He gave me 9 hit points to bring me back up.
Shit.
And I thought I auto-stabilized. Shit, wow.
No, you auto-stabilized, but then I hit you and I hit you. Those are still death saving throws. You can still.
Oh, he gave me 9, so it brought me back up.
So yeah,
Right.
I gotta kill you 3 more times. Then I'm not hitting fucking him. I'm hitting you 3 times. You dead.
So the first one would have dropped him. The
The
second
second
one
one
is his
would've-
first failed saving throw.
And the
And the
next
second one is the second failed
is a
saving
miss.
throw, and that's a miss.
it's a miss. So just one
And then on
death.
his turn, he'll stabilize, right?
He's also automatically stabilized. Just because you're stabilized doesn't mean you can't suffer more death saving throws.
It just
Okay.
means
Yeah.
you don't roll more.
He doesn't roll
Yeah,
more.
they don't acquire.
I can give him
Okay.
more death saving throws. Yeah.
Fair. I understand.
But yeah, just one now. Just one failure. And then it goes to you, and you don't have to roll because, yep, and then Malik.
All right, my turn. No. So, are you down to 0 again?
Oh, yeah, I'm all the way down.
Are you dead?
No,
Yeah,
no, I've got 1
Oh.
death saving throw left.
I'm
Zel-
gonna wait
real
until you
quick.
die.
Zelbor and Boo, the two of you, go ahead and make Arcana checks with wisdom.
Wisdom or
I think I'm supposed to die, guys. I think that's the thing.
You notice that as Hawk bleeds on on Gavilis, the stones that were rumbling their way over to catch up to him and reform with him just kind of stop and just don't move towards him. It looks like the blood, once again, has stopped the regeneration effect.
Sweet. I'm going to
Walk over him and slit his throat like a.
You also notice that he
Thanks a lot, man.
like an offering.
he hasn't yet used his legendary action to cast Blade Ward. Before Malik takes his turn, he will use his legendary action to attack again. That's advantage on that attack against you, Hawk, so another failed death saving throw.
So I'm dead then. Dead.
That's 2 failures.
No, that's
No, sweet, that was number 3.
Was it?
Yep.
Okay. Then yeah, you're dead.
no. I thought you.
Hey,
I
just
thought
don't
you
worry about it.
missed one.
Don't worry about it.
Wait,
Malik, you're up.
All
Oh,
right,
wait. He
hold
knocked
on.
you down, then he hit
all
you.
right.
32, 31, and then the 24.
All right, man. It was fun. It was fun having you.
Oh, this was great.
Mel, you're up.
I can bring him back, but I have to do it within a minute. All
You're
right,
gonna cast it now?
I'm gonna try to hit this guy with 2 smites to try to kill him.
If you go down, we have no way of getting Hawk back. I'm letting you know that now.
Yeah, do you have like a thunderous smite or something?
If I would have used it a long time ago. I have like nothing. I could
The
cast-
drama is too much tonight. This is great.
Listen, I could cast Beacon of Hope.
Oh, hold on a
Vivify
second. Sorry, hold on.
without saving,
Hold on.
Dispel magic, which I don't think is gonna work with him.
Sorry,
because
this is really
if I
important.
dispel
Okay, that's better.
banishment.
Listen,
And then I have remove curse.
Does everybody see
Yeah,
it?
remove curse. That wouldn't help. Daylight.
Did you see what I did?
Crusader's mantle.
no.
Look at Hawk's token.
Oh, there's blood. There's blood all over.
But no, look at
Remember what
Hawk's.
happened to that?
Look at
Remember what
Hawk's.
happened to that dragon? I'm gonna try to crit him twice in a row. Well, that's never gonna happen, but I'll try. What the heck?
What happened to Hawk's token?
That's a
I
hit.
put the red X over it.
Yeah, so he's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Malik,
Sorry.
you're attacking him twice, right?
Yeah. So the first one hit for
Yeah.
7. Second one, can I use my
Yeah.
inspiration?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll use my inspiration to make that one a hit.
Okay.
So
And are
then
you
I'm going to roll 2d8 for extra. This is
Right.
the extra parts, the automatic smite damage that I do. And actually, I'm going to use a level 1 smite for both of them. So because I have 2 more level 1 spells up. So what the hell?
so that'd be a
that would
total
be
of 3d8,
6, 7,
68.
8.
6.
I thought it was 6. Yeah, 68, dude.
Smite
Won't
gets
do them
plus
once.
2d8, and then okay.
Hey, that's not so bad. One
Yeah.
of them's a 1 and one of them's a 2, but the rest of them are pretty decent.
You knock
So
him.
that's
You knock him
21
back a bit.
Radiant. I tell him, "Be gone, evil one.
He
He is dead now."
snaps his attention to you. After your turn, he'll use his bonus action to
Heal me.
heal you.
I will accept it.
Right.
Yeah,
He's
that's
actually.
what I thought.
I'm going to go ahead and give this a go because I already lost the concentration and I haven't done it yet. He's going to go ahead and cast a 3rd level spell.
Sweet.
I need you.
Counterspell.
Yeah, counterspell.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, Malik.
All right. Luckily, Constitution is decent for me, but after seeing that, and I used up my inspiration, so I don't have anything.
Yep.
Oh, but I do add +5 to this because it doesn't include that in there.
You're fine.
So that's 21. So
You
not
feel him
bad.
like he closes his hand, and you feel like you're being drawn into yourself, and it doesn't seem to take hold.
Aha. It doesn't work on merfolk.
Yeah, that must be it.
Or rats.
Zelbor.
And then after that, he went and betrayed Emma.
I waste my reaction because I have nothing better to do.
Okay, since you wasted your reaction, I'm going
Fuck!
to use my bonus action to heal Malik.
Well played. But no. I just thought of something, and I'll tell you after the fight. Damn it. I gotta make sure I keep that up.
That's all that I can do. I'm now out of 2nd level spells.
Malik, you're healed. Boo,
Hey, wait,
you're
that didn't roll 2nd level either.
Oh,
I
you're
rolled
right. I didn't roll
first
2nd. Roll this first, so let me roll one more d4 real quick.
Yeah, I could get up to. I could have a total of 10 or.
There you go. You got
Nine.
another
9.
3.
Boo,
Wait, I'm
shoots.
gonna keep fighting this guy until I die, and then we'll both be dead. No, if I get down low, I'll
Hit,
I'll revivify you.
hit.
That will just kill us both again.
6 and 7 and 6. Okay. How do you want to do this?
Do it.
Oh, word? How do I want to do this?
Oh, sweet.
Make it painful.
Okay. So basically, the way Boo can tell this guy's already down. First shot is gonna go through the back of his heel, right through the where the Achilles tendon would be, and he drops him right down to his right onto one knee. Second shot goes through the neck where there's a little gap underneath that helmet you see, and just knocks him down onto the ground. And as he reaches a hand up, a 4th one goes straight through the visor of the mask, and he drops back.
Oh, so sweet.
I'm going to improve upon it just a little bit for flavor, if that's all right.
By all means,
You hit him in the Achilles heel. He drops to his knee again. You brought him to his knee several times this fight with your arrows. The volleys just slamming into his stone form, but you're hitting precisely where the blood splatters are kind of hitting the stone, where Hawk's blood spilled out onto him. The second shot slams into his neck and causes him to recoil so hard his helmet flies off. What you see is a stone head, but with no face. Instead, there's a flesh mask in that spot, and it looks like. I hope you get.
Flesh man.
It looks like Darth Vader.
And the face looks like.
It looks like Hawk.
And it looks like Hawk, and you
No!
hesitate for just a second, and then you see him kind of open his mouth, and you see that he has large fangs and a more feral and sinister face as he's doing it, and it seems like a 3-pronged tongue of stone is coming out of his mouth. You fire the shot straight into his head, and it seems that the stone falls apart, and the mask of flesh just falls to the ground with the arrow in it.
And that's why
Well
Hawkeye
done,
is
Boo.
better X-Men than Cyclops.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Hawkeye's a better X-Men.
That.
Okay. He pulls out a series of diamonds and kind of crushes them into his hand, says a prayer. Go ahead and just raise 300 gold pieces from your lot. And
Guess what? I'm getting the 300 gold from Hawk.
I have plenty of gold. Don't worry.
gets down and kind of just casts his prayer. But before that happens, I have to cover some ground with Hawk here. You see what you've seen in kind of the nightmares since the object has been granted to you. You see the Triskelion, you see the crushing stone, and then you see the thing kind of just sink underneath the earth, and the space that you're in that felt confining before kind of open up. The pain of death, the pain of all the blows that have cut into you, kind of just relinquishes itself, relinquishes its hold from you, and you feel like the ground that surrounded you is opening up to a bright blue sky. You look up and you see a man in green robes with a spear in one hand and just the countenance of the saint of Ariu, kind of reaching down and looking at you. And as he sees you, and you see him, and you're kind of feeling like, oh, this is it. This is what heaven's like. The stone snaps back closed around you like a coffin, shutting you in, and you hear your own voice whispering, Gavalus, 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 Gavalus? And you realize it's yourself speaking to yourself. And then you feel this immense surge of pain in your chest, and you look with your own eyes at Malik standing over your form.
Oh.
You have this pain in your chest, this horrid pain in your chest, and as Malik is kind of standing over you, you kind of look at him with a bit of sorrow. Malik, make a Constitution saving throw, please.
No, an alien's gonna burst out of his chest.
Is the orb still there?
Guess what?
Yeah.
Do you have your inspiration left?
Mal-
No, I gotta use them all up. That's all right.
Malik?
I'll take it, whatever it is.
Take 69 points of damage.
I go to 0.
Hawk
Cool, man.
regains 69 points of health.
What just happened?
You've turned into a vampire.
You guys watch as a bit of Malik's soul leaves his body and slams into the stone in his chest.
What?
Oh.
I'm going to do that as soon as I see anything.
Oh, no.
That only happened with creatures.
You weren't making any attacks, by the way. There, cool kid, Matt.
Right.
You had Matt. I'm talking to Matt. You had the orb floating over his head. You never made a single attack once you said you were angry at him. So I didn't have to add anything because you weren't ever attacking him.
Oh, I mean, like, there wasn't anything I could really
I
do
know.
besides vicious mockery.
I know.
But yeah, I was saying, as soon as I see Malik go down, I cast Healing
Well,
Word.
he also had disadvantage on those, and even with those, I was rolling 27s and 23s, so no big deal. You cast Healing Word on Malik. Okay, Malik, you feel just like a quick surge of this agony, but a lot of the regret that you felt over the death of the Wayfinder and the death of her mother and the deaths that you've caused, it just kind of leaves you. And Hawk, you feel that sorrow.
Oh man.
I feel
You
that sorrow.
feel-
Oh, man.
Hawk, you feel that melancholy. You're responsible for their
Hawk
deaths.
feels it.
You're also responsible for the fact that when you come to, Malik, you don't feel the ability to turn the light on your head tail.
No fucking way!
If
You
you
just
you
shut my light off, man.
you kind of look at Hawk as you kind of come to from the healing word, and you're kind of sitting there with this like agony, and you look at the clear jet black on his chest, and Malik, you swear you see the face, the screaming, agonied face of the Wayfinder.
Wow, that's heavy.
Oh
The-
man,
The amulet's hanging out over there. It's just hanging out over there.
Extinguished my light, man.
So who?
So I'm just going to say this: I literally only have one spell left.
No, it's cool. You guys have completed the dungeon, by the way.
So can we
Grab the
rest
amulet.
at some point, you guys?
The glass panel seems to be kind of lifting off of the ground a bit. You would assume that if everybody collected themselves on it, it might take you somewhere. But if you want to take a long rest here, that's fine. The amulet.
Is there shit on the body?
Oh no, it broke. It's completely empty. The only thing that remains is the sword.
What about the amulet?
Oh, and the amulet. Sorry, yeah. Real quick note though, for mechanic purposes, Hawk, your chest piece counts as an amulet, so you cannot wear another amulet.
Ah.
And that was a +2 longsword.
Can I
It was.
identify the amulet as my last spell slot? Because why not?
Sure. I will get you that information for the amulet once I have it. It's a long write-up. I'll post it in the Facebook forum.
Cool.
Do I lose my 40-foot movement and go back down to 30 since I'm no longer a wayfinder?
Yep. All benefits for being a
You
wayfinder.
bastard!
Sorry, man. I didn't
You
know.
left me, man. That's the last time I bring you back from dead.
I don't understand what happened. I thought that only activated when I killed an enemy.
But it's a curse. Why would it be a benefit all the time?
Yeah, maybe it's not.
You haven't really been knocked down before.
Oh,
so
man.
I literally
This is gonna
have,
suck.
besides cantrips, I literally have 0 spell slots.
Me too.
Gotcha.
I used to have light as a cantrip. I don't even have that anymore.
Well, that's the kind of fight. That's the kind of fight I like. It gets right down to the nitty gritty, and you're like, "Well, what the fuck do I do?" Let Boo
It
shoot
really
it.
sucks because nobody's going to want to pick me up anymore.
Let Boo shoot him a
It's all right.
bunch.
You know
That's
what?
what we
Mel
do.
would still do it because he's, he'll
Well,
be like, "I deserve that, man."
what's funny is in the back and forth, and actually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a rest, right? And then we're all gonna go up on the platform and out, right?
Yeah.
That would lead you back out to the world, and you guys would be able to make your way back to Stormloft. We'll just go ahead and say for fast track purposes, if you guys have anything you want to talk about on the way there, we can do that at the beginning of next session. I'm going to go ahead and kill the stream because I got a couple of points I just want to beat out real quick on the side so we can get those done.